So I just looked this up. And did you know that 92% of people who set goals fail to achieve them? And the worst part about that is that they try over and over again and they fail over and over again. And of course, that's going to cost an immense amount of time and an immense amount of effort. And they're just going to feel miserable throughout that whole process. But the good news is that there is an exercise that you can do right now. Actually, I hope that you do it right after this video that will take your chances of success through the roof. And I think the reason why most people overlook it is because it is so simple. I'm going to take an example from a real scenario that I had as a trainer, a personal trainer. I had a guy come in and I said, what's your goal? And he said, I want to lose 50 pounds. And I said, okay, well, why do you want to lose 50 pounds? My doctor said I should. Well, why do you care what your doctor says? Well, my doctor said my cholesterol's high and I do have a history of heart disease in my family, so I should probably get this in check. Well, why do you care if you get it in check? Well, I have kids and, I need to get this under control for them. Well, why do you need to get it under control for them? Well, my father died when I was very young, and I know how hard that was on my family and my mom and my brothers and sisters. And I just don't want to do that to my kids or my wife. Realistically, I want to be around for my kids as they grow up and they graduate and they get married and they have kids of their own, because my dad was never there for me. And I know how much he missed out on. And I could never live with myself if that was what happened to me. So what started as I want to lose 50 pounds turned into I want to be around for my kids as they grow old and have kids of their own, so I can be a grandfather and play and be healthy and experience all the beautiful things that will happen as my kids grow up. And that's such a more powerful reason for going to the gym at 6 a.m. or whatever time you need to fit it into your busy schedule than just saying I want to lose 50 pounds. I used a fitness example because that's where I come from, being a personal trainer, but that can be applied to literally everything. And you can actually see this in marketing. I mean, think about Volvo, right? If someone goes out and buys a Volvo, the reason why they buy a Volvo isn't because it's the best car or, it's the best price. Volvo is known for safety. So typically someone who's going to buy a Volvo, they have a deep why of safety. They want their family to be safe. When their kids are going to and from soccer practice, they want them to be as safe as possible, on the road. If someone buys a Corvette or a Maserati or a Lamborghini, their why is very different than someone who buys a Volvo. So do you want to save up and buy a house, or do you want to feel like you're the generative provider for your family? Do you want to put on 10 pounds of muscle, or do you want to feel like you're the best version of yourself, the most attractive version of yourself, so that you can attract the partner of your dreams and create a worthwhile life that you can share with them? Do you want to make $10,000 a month in your business or in your career? Or do you want to finally free yourself from that mindset of scarcity that you grew up with, because finances were always an issue in your family? And you can do all the things that you want to do with your kids the way that you couldn't when you were young, because finances were such an issue. So it's not really as simple as just saying, okay, well, this is my goal. What's beneath that? You really do have to ask those different layers of why. It's called the 5 whys. I have a worksheet actually that I use with my clients. So I'll do my best to attach that document to this video. And it's really good if you can find someone to do this exercise with. So you take them through the 5 whys and then they take you through the 5 whys, and together you discover your deep reason behind the goals that you have. And try to not make your answers superficial. Really take a second. What's your goal? I want to lose 50 pounds. Oh, why do you want to lose 50 pounds? Think about it for a second. Don't just answer right away. Think about it. Why do I want to lose 50 pounds? And then the next why will come. Okay, well, why do you care what your doctor says? Don't just answer right away. Think about it. Why do you care what your doctor says? And then help your friend the same way, asking them the relevant questions for them. Now, if you don't have a friend to do this with, or a family member, someone that you're well acquainted with that you can go through this exercise with, a great tool that you can use is actually ChatGPT. So what I'm going to do below this video for sure is I'm going to give you an example of how you could write a prompt for ChatGPT that will actually make this a constructive process, because I tend to think that I ramble. Man, ChatGPT is even worse. It just goes on and on and on unless you give it the directive to make the way that of which you're trying to direct the conversation as precise as possible. So I'm going to put that prompt below this video. If you do use it, I'd love to hear what your experience was. And if you use the worksheet, I'd love to hear what your experience with that was. The whole purpose of this video is, let's go back. 92%, I think it was, of people fail at achieving their goals. And the reason why they fail to achieve their goals is because they say, I want to lose 50 pounds. I want to make $10,000 in my business. I want to, date more women. I want to, buy a new car, whatever their goal is. But the thing is all of these goals require effort. And if the thing that's driving your effort, if the carrot on the stick is just lose 50 pounds or something as surface level as that, it's not going to get you up out of bed to go do the workouts or save 10% of your income or do the night school so that you can accelerate in your career. It's just not enough rocket fuel. Do this exercise, get clear on the whole reason that you want to achieve this goal in the first place, and I promise you, your chances of success will go through the roof. One little thing I want to mention is that when you go through this exercise, you might find out that your goal isn't actually what you want. You might go 5 layers deep and realize that the real reason I wanted to achieve this goal, I can actually get that same feeling or that same result by doing something else. I had a friend who had a really ambitious goal. Now, he was a young guy, and he essentially, as many young guys do, I was guilty of this too, they have dreams of grandiosity. You know, they want to be at the apogee, at the apex of whatever their endeavor is. In this case, he wanted to be an elite level powerlifter. In fact, he wanted to be an elite level powerlifter in Canada. So top 1% of 1% within Canada. It's easy to say that you want to do that. And I have the confidence that anybody, if they really want something, as long as they have a couple other things in place, there's certain prerequisites for sure, but most things are achievable, at least to some degree. The thing is it's very simple to say, I want this, but it's just as easy to forget what effort is required for that. So when he said he wanted to be the top 1% of top 1% of powerlifters in Canada, what he didn't realize when he said that was, yeah, you can say yes to that, but with something so hyper focused and with something that requires so much of your attention, you're simultaneously saying no to pretty much everything else in your life. And he was about 20 at the time. When you're 20, you're meant to really experience as much of the world as you possibly can. You're taking in as much as you can so that, you know, later on in life, you can kind of distill it down into what actually matters and set a path for yourself. And for him to just decide on this one path, it's his life. If he wants to do that, that's fine. But he's also going to say no to all of these other things. And it's also not a guaranteed success. Like, he could have an injury. He could just not genetically be gifted enough to become the champion that he wants to be. That shouldn't necessarily dissuade him, but he needs to take an honest look at how much effort he's willing to put into this goal and all of the other things that he's going to lose if he decides to pursue it. We did that 5 why exercise. And what was discovered was the reason why he wanted to achieve that goal had nothing to do with, you know, his love for powerlifting. It was his need for validation from specific people in his life that he craved. And that feeling that he was after, that desire to be recognized, didn't have to come from this avenue, this hyper specific avenue that would just decimate all areas of his life. He could pursue something that would fulfill that end while also filling his own needs, being more genuine to his own desires and aspirations in life. When you go through this 5 whys, you very well might find out that your goal actually isn't your goal. It's something else entirely. It's someone else's vision, or a vision that you feel like you have to live up to. So if you get to the bottom of that 5th why and you start to feel that, it's going to be hard, but take an honest look at what's come up. Feels like it's right, let go of it. It's not yours to pursue, but you'll be left with the reason why it was on your radar in the first place, and that could be the seed for an entirely new goal that's actually going to fill up your cup. So I hope this video helped in some way. I really appreciate you spending some time with me. I love hearing about how this has got you thinking and, you know, moving in your own life. So if you got something out of this video, I would love to hear from you, and I'll see you in the next video.